With all of the buzz and hype dying down for the Galaxy S23 Ultra, let's talk about the Galaxy S21 Ultra here in 2023. I'm Mega the Tech Guy, and let's find out what my thoughts are. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is a great phone to buy in 2023. I would say the reason being is the price point. For $415 to $430 on Amazon refurbished, you can pick up your very own Galaxy S21 Ultra and you'll have a flagship device from 2021 here in 2023. And like I've said in previous videos about the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition, that device has a Snapdragon 855 Plus, which still holds up in 2023. So if that holds up in 2023, you pretty much guessed it. The Galaxy S21 Ultra Snapdragon 888 holds up more than adequately here in 2023. You're not really gonna find anything in this price point that matches the Galaxy S21 Ultra. It's such a good price point for this device. It's literally less than half of what the Galaxy S23 Ultra currently costs. So you could pick yourself up the case that comes with the S Pen for this device and still be way cheaper than the Galaxy S23 Ultra or the Galaxy S22 Ultra. So you're still getting a Note S device, which is what they did with the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the 23 Ultra, is they just combined the Note series with the Ultra series and then called it the Ultra. So it's everything in the kitchen sink that they're throwing into a device right into one device here. But ultimately, you're getting 98% of the experience with the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and if you wanted to pick up the S Pen, it's still capable of using one as if it was a Note device, so you're not really missing out on anything on that front either. First, we're going to talk about the build quality and how it holds up here in 2023. Spoiler alert, holds up really well. The matte finish on this device is probably one of the top finishes for a device. Like MKBHD says, matte black all of the things. There's a reason why he used this device back in 2022. He used the Galaxy S21 Ultra for quite some time. And there's a reason being because it's a good device and it's matte black, so I'm sure he had some sort of liking to that as well. But the overall experience of the device, just from holding it in your hand to the way that the back looks with the cameras on it, I personally prefer this look over the non-cutout variant on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Those devices look a little bit more bland in my opinion. It's not really screaming to you what kind of device it is. So I guess in my opinion, it just doesn't look as good. It doesn't stand out as much. So I guess that's kind of also a thing to look at is, you know, design wise, I think that they should have stuck with the camera cutouts just to be like, oh yeah, that's a Samsung, you know. But it's, I mean, if you're not looking to spend, you know, an arm and a leg for a device, this is one that you should definitely pick up because it's going to give you, like I said, 98% of the experience of those two devices in one little package for 430 bucks. I mean, I could pretty much end the video right here, right? But ultimately, I'm not going to. And for the ladies, this one's for you. Because we do want to talk about a few other things. The build quality, like I said, nice chamfered edges, a great cutout around the cameras, matte black finish, the display up on the top, 120 hertz LTPO display, and you're getting Quad HD. On top of that, although I'm going to save a little notion on the display for my battery section, so I don't spoil that yet. But this, you know, for the most part, you're getting a Quad HD display, 120 hertz AMOLED display from Samsung. They make some of the best displays on the planet. This one is no exception. It's amazing. That's as quickly as I can put it. It's amazing. Definitely, if you like great built devices with a little bit of heft to them so they feel premium, this is a phone to go for if you're not trying to break the bank, but you want a flagship experience. Next, we'll talk about the cameras. Okay, the cameras. They're actually really great. You get 4 cameras on the back. You're getting a primary sensor, an ultra-wide sensor, and then 2 telephoto lenses, one for 3x zoom and one for 10x zoom, which is crazy to have 2 for optical zooms. Then the primary lens does have a trick up its sleeve where it does a super zoom. It goes all the way in about 100 times zoom, which is, I mean, I don't know why you would practically use it. I mean, I've seen cases, you know, for the moon, if you wanted to take pictures of the moon, which also has a little controversy around it that it's being superimposed with a picture of the moon to put in the actual shape of the moon because it knows what it's looking at AI wise. So that's still up to debate on whether or not that is even really worth it. It is cool I'll admit that you can go up to 10x optical zoom, which is way more practical than doing 100 times zoom. It is a gimmick ultimately at the end of the day, and I don't think it's the reason why you're going to be buying this device camera-wise, but its 108 megapixel primary lens is definitely a go for me. It takes really great photos, has great dynamic range, great color reproduction, almost all lighting scenarios. You have night mode, you have all the top tier stuff that all latest phones pretty much come with. So you're not really lacking in the camera department either, because you have all these options. They threw everything in the kitchen sink in this, like, because I said they are, and it's an old flagship, so it was at one point in time the top phone that Samsung created, and it's only a couple years old. So since phones have been kind of hitting a plateau for all the things that they're offering, you're only getting iterative updates. So this phone still holds up plenty good camera wise. You're getting, you can take any photo, any scenario for the most part, get a great looking photo that you could post on social media or wherever the case may be. If you wanted to save it for family memories in your Google Photos in the cloud, save it in a hard drive for storage, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get great photos out of this thing. So in camera department, you are getting pretty much top tier flagship specs, not at flagship pricing. Like I said, for the $430, you got to keep remembering that price tag that it currently goes for on Amazon refurbished. And as far as that goes, I mean, you're getting yourself top tier cameras. Now we can talk about battery life. And gotta be perfectly honest, here in 2023, this phone, at full disclosure, was originally used by my girlfriend when she bought it brand new from Best Buy back in 2021 when it was a brand new phone. So it definitely got its use out of it for the last 2 years, and that battery degradation is really noticeable. And that's unfortunate because when I started using it wasn't super long ago, but ultimately its battery life has left more to be desired, to be honest with you. But I don't think that in this case, for when you're purchasing it, you're going to have the same experience, because refurbished phones are going to have newer batteries in them, which means you're going to get the normal battery life in which when it came with. It's a gripe with me, and that's why I'm not currently using it as my main device, is the battery life. It's just not up to par, and I'm not replacing the battery in this device. But for you guys, you're definitely going to be able to probably get more than a day of use if you're not a heavy user, or if you're a heavy user, you don't really have to worry about it. You're not going to have to top up midday. It should get you through your day of photos and browsing and whatever the case may be of what you're doing. So ultimately, the battery life in the battery department isn't terrible. It's good. It's more than good, to be honest with you. But from my experience with this phone, because of how long it's actually been used, is starting to see a little bit of hiccups in that department where I do need to charge midday or whatever the case may be. And granted, I am a heavy user. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, listen to a lot of podcasts, music, edit videos and stuff like that to post on TikTok or whatever the case may be. So I am using this thing to its max potential. I did turn it down to 1080p versus 1440p to get me through those days. So that's also something, like, I had to turn down the screen resolution in order to get most of the battery life up a little bit more, which again, you guys probably won't have to deal with. So you could keep it at 1440p, 120 hertz LTPO, and if you're going to get great battery life, you're going to be able to get highest resolution, high refresh rate, and get through your day just fine. Where I think that they fell off even from the beginning is not including a wall brick in the box. I understand they were hypocritical on that regard because the iPhone obviously started that trend. Apple's really notorious for starting things like that because they're saving the environment, which isn't really saving the environment, because you're really just passing on those environmental issues to other companies now that create wall bricks. So any company that's making those are just producing more of them because it's in higher demand. So is it really saving the environment? No. Is it reducing their carbon footprint? Yes. So Samsung following suit is obviously going to be like, oh, we're not going to pass up any opportunity to look like we're saving the environment. But ultimately, they're just saving their pockets. Ultimately, they don't want to produce those things and put them in the box, and creating a larger box and larger footprint for themselves. So ultimately, that's kind of up to you to decide on what you feel about that situation. But I think that they should just keep including the wall bricks in the box, because come on. You know what I mean? It was a flagship once upon a time. Obviously now with the Amazon refurbished, you don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty sure that they actually include a generic wall brick in there with the cord. So you're actually getting more than what you were getting with the phone when it first came out, to be honest. And if you're looking to do fast charging, which this phone technically is capable of, you can get a wall brick. There's actually a super fast charger. It says super fast charging on the brick. You're going to be able to charge it at 25 watts, which will get you from 0 to full in about an hour and 20 minutes, which isn't terrible. It's not the worst charging in the world or anything like that, but in a world where they've got super fast charging, where it's going up to like 200 watts and stuff like that, it's kind of lagging behind rather bad at this point. It is what it is. That's something that if you were to go and buy the S23 Ultra, you get 45 watt charging, so you're getting a bit of an increase, which is still lower than most devices anyway, but that's another rant for another day. Point is that you can buy yourself one of the 25 watt charging bricks, get the USB-C charging cable, plug that in, get yourself topped up in an hour and 20-ish minutes, and that's fine. And for $430, that's more excusable at the end of the day. You're not really gonna have a problem in that department for the pricing. It was more of a problem when it was flagship pricing, because at that time it's a little bit less inexcusable, in my opinion. So again, that's something that you guys can kind of rant about in the comments, or you can even say how you feel about that. But ultimately, the battery life and the charging go hand in hand with this one, and I think overall it's not a bad package for what you're getting for that price point. So yeah, it's a go for me in that department as well. Let's talk about gaming. So the Galaxy S21 Ultra is pretty good with gaming, to be honest with you. It can do pretty much anything you want it to do. It can play Fortnite. I'll put some game footage up for you guys just so you can see what the capabilities are for this device. It's good. It's a solid overall device. I don't think that it makes you feel like you need anything more. You can play Call of Duty Mobile. You can play Fortnite. You could play, I'm sure you could even play Genshin Impact. I did not download it on this device. I'm more than positive you could play it. It is going to get warm. Most of these little slabs are not really meant for gaming anyway because of how thin they are. Ultimately, if you're a hardcore mobile gamer, you might as well just go with a gaming phone. But if you can't afford it, this is gonna get you by just fine. It's gonna kill battery life, of course, and that's gonna be something that you wanna kind of pay attention to. But ultimately, it can game. It can play any of the latest titles, no problem, with little hiccups, little lag, and get you through that need if you needed it. So it's a go for me in gaming as well. Ultimately, the Galaxy S21 Ultra in 2023 is a major go for me. It's a must pick up if you want Samsung. If you need something like this, this is a great phone to pick up here in 2023 for 415 to 430 bucks. It's a pass on from Miggy the Tech Guy to you guys. Pick this one up. It's awesome. I did want to talk about the fact that this phone is like a supercomputer in your pocket. I've said it about the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren with the Snapdragon 855 Plus. Something with the Snapdragon 888 is going to hold up just fine as well, because it's got a beefy processor. And you can run Samsung DeX, so it is a full computer in your pocket. You can literally plug this into a monitor and some peripherals, and you can use it as basically a Chromebook with downloading Android apps and using them in window mode. There is an option for you to make them transparent and whatnot, which is pretty interesting to me, but ultimately that's cool. This device has that extra little perk because it is Samsung. So if there's something that you were thinking little extra tidbit for this device, Samsung DeX is a really cool bonus feature for these devices. So this is definitely another little bonus treat for you guys to have, a Samsung DeX on top of everything you're already getting for that $430. So yeah, I would, if you're interested in having this be your sole device to use for any and everything that you're going to do, you could start up a YouTube channel, you can start up anything really with just one device, and that's this one, because it basically turns into a little computer as well. And if you plug it into the mouse and keyboard and the monitor, you've got yourself a little computer, which is really cool. I think that's really awesome. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you disliked it, go ahead and hit the dislike button. If you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can get more content from me. As always, I'm Miggy the Tech Guy, and I'm out. Peace.